one of the number one questions that I get is this a great time to get into recruiting, right? And obviously, the economy's a little bit kind of wonky and wobbly right now, so it feels kind of funky. But one thing I will say I love about our group right now is you guys really aren't struggling with this. You guys just have your head down and you're going for it, and that's exactly the mentality that you want to have. But one thing that I just wanted to remind you guys of, just as encouragement, is that the fee that we get paid by companies is an investment for that company. There was actually a study done about 10 or 12 years ago. I'd have to message a friend because we used to bring this up to hiring managers sometimes, but there was a study done about the actual return on investment that one software developer brought to a company. And it turns out that, at the time, for the average salary that they were making, let's call it $100,000, whatever it was, they were bringing into the company about 3 times more revenue based on their productivity. And I don't remember exactly how they calculated that. But the point of that is, okay, so they're bringing in $300,000 or so. They're getting paid $100,000. You can see that's a no-brainer for the company to hire that individual, right? If they can 3x their investment. And that is something that's really important to remember moving forward when the economy feels a little shaky, when people are talking about recession, when the market's not as maybe happy-go-lucky as it has been in other years. It's really important to remember that the fee that you're getting paid is it doesn't just get thrown away when things start getting shaky. And don't believe that for a minute. It's an investment that these companies make to find these individuals, because these individuals will help their companies, will help them prosper during hard times. Now, they may trim some fat here and there and cut positions, obviously, that maybe they realize, maybe we don't need this many salespeople, or maybe we don't need this many customer service people. That, of course, happens when economies kind of are in a downward trend a little bit. But they will always, these fees are always going to be paid by companies to find the type of high caliber talent that we find. So the way that I teach this program, the way it's outlined, the client avatar, all that stuff, there is an absolute need for that. Now, the other thing I want to address, and then we'll jump into the questions, is with that, when things are more difficult, when the economy's not like just happy-go-lucky, stock market's going up every single day and everyone's throwing money in the stock market, when you're not in that time, as a salesperson, and everyone in this group, whether you like it or not, I know some people might not like to call themselves salespeople, but you are a salesperson when you are in recruiting. And what that means is you have to be careful what you fill your mind with, because as a salesperson, your mental headspace is your number one asset. If you believe in yourself, if you believe in the opportunity, if you believe in the system that you're building, and you get after it and you put the blinders on and you go for it, you will be successful. It's a universal law. I mean, if you're sowing seed in the right field, then you'll be successful. You'll yield a harvest. But if you start filling your head with doubt and fear and what if, then pretty quickly you can kind of erode the foundation underneath the building that you're trying to build, right? When you don't want to do that. There's a great example of this on our case studies page. A guy I worked with a couple of years ago named Julian. I remember he was about 4 months in. He hadn't completed his first deal. He had gotten a client though in San Jose, and he decided to run some ads on Indeed to fill the role. And I actually didn't tell him to do that. I didn't even know he was doing that. He just went and got a Indeed, ads account and started running ads for this client that he picked up. It was a senior cloud architect, and they were paying 160 to 180, and he had 20%. It was 15 or 20%, I forget. But a great role, right? And so he just starts running ads for it. And about the 4th month or so, he's getting discouraged. He's feeling like, man, is this going to work? And to be honest with you, he should have been talking with me more, because I could have helped him a lot, because I didn't even know what he was doing. He just kind of went dark and wasn't jumping on these calls, and I wasn't able to help him. And then all of a sudden he reaches out to me, and he found a candidate that he'd sent. They interviewed him. They extended an offer, and the deal closed. And of course, he's on cloud 9. He's super excited because he got this candidate that came through the ads that he was running, and it closed the deal. It ended up being a $24,000 deal. But you definitely have that mental game that can do a number on you if you're not careful, especially in any sales role. So that's why we talk about building pipeline. One thing we probably don't talk enough about is well, we do talk a lot about metrics with business development. Once we start getting more client activity going, and everyone in this group is basically about a month and a half in, I think we've got 1 or 2 of you that have actual active clients right now. But with the interview metrics, you want to start building that pipeline, getting interviews going every single week. Once you get to like 5, 6 interviews plus a week, you'll start to get probably about an offer, maybe 1 or 2 offers a month. That doesn't mean they'll all be accepted, but that gets really exciting when you actually start getting to the offer stage. So that's why as salespeople, you focus on the numbers, you focus on the tangibles, you focus on the things that you can control, that are within your control, and then the chips fall where they may. So I wanted to throw that out there. I know it's something that's looming on everyone's mind. In this market, it's definitely tempting to do that, but don't go down, the black hole of doubt and negativity. And I'm not worried about anyone in this group doing that. And